Hey everybody, welcome to It Takes a Village, where we sit down with candidates from all over the country to discuss a wide range of issues brought by you, the viewer. I am your charming and furious host, Political Jess, and I'm not going anywhere. Before we get started, though, let's kind of go over some guidelines. First, we're going to be chatting with folks from all over the country. If you have a question about our grassroots candidate, please request up. You'll be allowed one question and one follow-up. The candidates will have about 2 minutes per question to enter or to answer. I'm not really timing you. It's okay. 18 plus only, though. Please, minor safety, very important. Stick to current events, and remember, we are not a debate stage. There is no shortage of amazing creators on this app where you can do that, and this ain't it, fam. Please be respectful of our amazing candidates who are working so hard to make our country work for all of us. Failure to do so will result in your immediate ejection. Also, while we're yapping, please be tapping. This helps push our live out to the FYP and gets more eyes onto these candidates who desperately need it. Also, please share the live. It does exactly the same thing. Let's show TikTok that we are engaged. Also, there's some little new little nuggets, little trinkets in our subsection for your viewing and using enjoyment. So it's stickers. And guys, there may be even one in there for our guest tonight. So, kind of go in there and see what's in there. Our guest tonight, speaking of our guest tonight, he comes to us from the great state of Florida. Or not so great. Is it up for debate? Is that up for debate? Running for congressional District 21, please, everybody, give a warm welcome to the amazing Bernard Taylor for Congress. Woohoo!
Hey, thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Of
Very much
course.
appreciate it.
If you guys have any questions for our candidate, please request up. In the meantime, though, I like to start things off with just a little itty-bitty icebreaker, if you will. Before we get started, before we take questions from the village people, working title only, I always like to ask people what inspired you to run for office? What was the camel, so to speak, that broke your back?
Whew. Oh, man. I would say the one thing that was just like, you know what? Enough is enough. Probably, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's a combination of things. Whether it was dealing with the whole immigration system, being that, my wife is the child of an immigrant, whether it's the cost of living here in Florida, whether it's the attacks on Medicaid and Social Security and food stamps and all the different things that have transpired over Florida and all the legislation and laws that have happened over the years that are now being taken nationally. What you guys don't understand is that everything that you guys are experiencing for the first time all over the country, we've been going through this stuff here in Florida for years. And I think the prospect of just seeing this state, the policies being exploded on a national scale, it was just like, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make you bigger so people can see you. How about that?
Oh, look at that.
I know. Now people know they can really read your shirt instead of having to squint with their old lady eyes like me. So can you give the people just a little bit of a background of who you are, where you're running, and all of the Bernardness? Can you give us the Bernardness?
Absolutely. So if you guys aren't aware, my name is Bernard Taylor. I am running for Congress here in Florida Congressional District 21. Congressional District 21 starts in the northern section of Palm Beach County and goes all the way north to St. Lucie County. So it's in an area called the Treasure Coast. If you guys want to have any more information or see what my campaign is about, feel free. Once the interview is over, don't leave. Feel free to go to BernardTaylorForCongress.org and you can see everything that I'm trying to do, all my policies. Any questions that you guys have or could possibly be answered on the website. And make sure you follow me everywhere. Whatever app you love, I'm on it. I promise.
Awesome. All right, well, while we're waiting for our first guest to come up with the question, let me ask you, there are so many important issues that are hitting us in the face like a fire hose, if you will. And I use that term with you in jest because you're a fireman, and I think that's great. So there's so many issues that are hitting us all the time. and it's hard for us to focus on just one issue all the time. What is the one issue you feel like should be front and center in this election cycle?
Affordability. That's the thing that got us here in the first place, right? You had one guy promising that you get me in there, things are going to become more affordable, and we're 8 months in, and things are not more affordable. Things are actually getting far worse out here for the everyday average American. I was just in the grocery store the other day, and it kind of caught me off guard. I'm a cereal connoisseur. I love cereal. It's my comfort food. And the same box of cereal that I used to get, buy one, get one free, it was like $4 and some change. I was like, all right, bet, I'm getting 2 boxes of cereal for $4. That same box right now, I went and bought it yesterday, it was $9.
What is this? Okay, I have to know. What's the cereal? What is it? Is it Lucky
So,
Charms?
no, I am a Cinnamon Toast Crunch man. I love Cinnamon
Okay.
Toast Crunch. That's my thing. And I did not get the Cinnamon Toast Crunch because it was no way in heck I was spending $9 for some cereal. But it's not that I couldn't, but I refused. I stood on principle at that moment. I was like, you know what? Nah,
10
we
toes
ain't
down.
10 toes down. I'm not paying $10 for even though I was getting two of them, I still wasn't paying $10
Oof.
for what I used to pay $4 for. But just like things like that, man. When they get on here and they spread their propaganda, telling us some prices are going down and all that stuff. It's like we are out here. We live we live in these streets. We live this stuff day to day, and we see that's not the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Welcome to the show, Alec.
really
Oh,
trying to make things more. No, you're fine. Really, just again, focus on trying to make things more affordable and.
How are you, political Jess?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for popping up. What
Yeah.
questions do you have?
So I just wanted to ask Bernard. So I am Christian and I'm Catholic. I'm also a believer in God. I mean I'm not like very religious. I'm kind of religious, but not like super religious. I believe in God. I believe in multiple gods, and I also believe in like reincarnation. But I'm an atheist. But like for our country as a whole nation to get past what Donald Trump is putting out in this world, because right now we've got so much like hate and everything, and with kids growing up nowadays, I mean, when they're so young, like at 5, they don't need like all this stuff that's being put out into the news with like Trump, trying to start like what he's trying to do is like start World War III. So, what do you think would be the turning point to get away from that with him trying to basically start another world war?
The turning point is what I'm fighting for now, man. The turning point is making sure when these elections come around next year that we actually get people in there to put up some guardrails and put up some real opposition to what's going on right now. Unfortunately for us, the administration has control of the White House, they have control of the legislative branch, and they have control of the Supreme Court. So there is really no power that can be exercised against them at the current moment, which is why it's so important to make sure we have candidates like myself who's running here in Florida, to make sure we have people in place to, when the time comes next year, to flip these majorities and be able to conduct hearings and conduct oversight and actually put up challenges and guardrails and opposition to what we're currently facing right now. Because if that doesn't happen, if we have another 2 years after the midterms of unchecked power, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we're going to be. So it is very important to make sure we activate each and every person we can around us. Make sure everybody around us is informed and eligible to vote and registered to vote. And when the time comes to get at that box and get at that ballot box, make sure we're putting people in place that want to fight for us.
And I think you have a very valid point, because if we keep running like this, where we are now with him in office, if he goes another 4 years, I think he's going to drive us into World War III, and we don't need another World War. And that's exactly what he's trying to do with his power, because he's already fighting with other countries, and he's not like doing what we need right now as a nation. And also too, like I said, kids growing up nowadays, they don't need all that like hate into the world, and they don't need to be thinking about that at like 5 years old, because they just need to be kids. Like, kids need to be kids.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Awesome. Did you have another follow-up question, Alec?
No.
Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you.
See you later, Alec. Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Rajil, who's come up to ask a question. Rajil, one of our most amazing and talented moderators in the chat. Hello, sir.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing, Bernard?
I'm doing good, Rajil. What's going on, brother?
Good. First question. I got my shirt and it doesn't look that good. Do I get a refund or?
What? What? Yeah, you gotta now. I gotta see it, man, because my wife makes the shirt, so I'm gonna tell her what you said.
That
no.
shirt does not look that good on me. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
saying.
Okay. we got to clear.
False advertising for sure.
Because I was about to run upstairs like, honey, I got somebody want to talk to me.
It's going to be one of these moments.
Absolutely.
But serious question. In terms of tariff, we know that under the Constitution, only Congress can levy tariffs, but some laws have allowed the president to use certain powers to bring tariffs as a form of foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be something you would look at bringing back to Congress?
Yes. So anything involving the finances of this country is technically, per Constitution, Congress's responsibility. The House and the Senate, Congress is the purse strings for this entire country. The president should never have had the power to levy tariffs, and the act that he's using now to justify enacting tariffs, if you looked at the news lately, the court ruled that it was unconstitutional, that he did not have the authority to do that. And again, it's still being appealed and going through that whole process. So, everything that they're, doing is going up to the Supreme Court to make a decision. But I'm glad you asked that question, because this is something that I want people to understand. And I don't think a lot of people well, I know for a fact a lot of people aren't thinking this far ahead. So let's say this stuff goes up to the Supreme Court with the tariffs, and the Supreme Court determined yes, you do not have the powers according to the law that you're trying to use to enact these tariffs. Do you know what happens immediately if that ruling comes down that way?
Well, according to the bylaws, we have to refund the importers all that money, which I believe is at $584 billion.
Exactly. And if you don't know how much money is currently in our treasury right now, it's only like on hand. We have cash on hand just north of $800 billion. So that ruling were to come down immediately, we would have to pay all those tariffs back to those importers. You're talking about $500 billion worth of tariffs would have to be refunded back to those people. So in essence, this will be Donald Trump's 7th bankrupted business. He will literally so for you guys, for you all that don't understand that, that don't, you're not as politically inclined as some folk. Yes, if that ruling comes down and it's been determined that he cannot have enacted these tariffs, that it was illegal for him to do so, our country will be bankrupt.
I love that when Bernard says that he leans in, he's leaning in, he's talking to us. You guys see that, right?
I need everybody to understand, like, we literally put someone in charge that bankrupted casinos, and when that ruling comes down, if it comes down that way, which that is probably one of those where you might want the Supreme Court just to let him continue to have that until we can get some legislation back, because again, we ain't, you talking about over 60% of the cash on hand of the country going back to these people, because that money that's coming in for the tariffs, we're not storing that anywhere. They're using that as offsets for these spending bills, for the legislation that they're passing. It's not like that money's coming in and it's going into our the coffers or whatever. No, that money's coming in to supplement the money that's going out. So when you have to refund all that money, that comes out of your personal account, which our personal account as a country is just north of $800 billion. So I know you guys, everybody got their own bank accounts. You kind of know how this stuff works. If you got some money in the bank and all of a sudden somebody say, "Hey, I need 70% of your money," they took it from you. You will not be happy. So.
And just a quick follow-up to that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
We see that treasury bonds are already pretty high in yield. A lot of countries have dropped treasury bonds, but the only thing that's kind of making them enticing to investors is the fact that tariffs were bringing revenue, securing up those bonds. Mm-hmm. If that gets overturned, how do we bring in more revenue?
Well, the first thing we need to realize is that if that gets overturned and that scenario happens, like we said, and we start and all that money has to go back, you know who's calling next? All those people that own those treasury bonds, everybody that owns our debt. It's like, hey, since y'all about to go bankrupt, we calling y'all to the carpet. We need our money too. So, again, really don't want that scenario to happen, to be quite honest with you, because again, it would literally bankrupt this country. So I'm not quite sure how we would shore up those treasury bonds if everybody knows that we would essentially be about 70% of our coffers emptied. I truly believe that it would be just like, if you guys are familiar with the stock market, when they have a call, it's like, all right, you know what? We need to call it right now. Let's see how much we can come out. Let's go ahead and settle these debts and settle these stocks and come up with the money. So it's a scenario that I hope we avoid.
Yikes.
Thank you, Bernard.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't like the doom and gloom, but we gotta live in reality. And you guys gotta know the truth. It's when you put somebody in there that bankrupts businesses, don't be surprised if they bankrupt the country.
How am I supposed to follow that? Hey, Chris, welcome up. Do you have a question for Bernard today?
I do, and I want to preface this with the fact that I am not a resident of the state of Florida, so I'm not your constituent. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that you represent all of America when you're in the Congress, even though you may be elected for one district. Remind me here, who are you running against?
So the incumbent in my district is Brian Mast.
Okay. And forgive me, I don't know much about, his views. I'm assuming that he is a Republican and you're running on the Democratic ticket. Tell me, what do you disagree with his and I'm a Democrat, by the way. What do you disagree with about his handling of, we'll go straight to the e-files, and how would you approach that differently?
Well, first and foremost, he was not one of the signatures on the discharge petition. So we know that he is actively participating in not making sure those files are released by not signing that petition. Obviously, if it were me in his place, I would have signed the discharge petition and we would be moving on to having a full floor vote on the House. But my opponent, he had a town hall for the first time here, I want to say in about 8 or 9 years. And at that town hall, he was pretty specific. Like, he 100% agrees with the president, and he backs the president with everything that he does. And for those of us around here, we kind of know the background. He's not from this area. He's originally from Michigan. They kind of migrated him down to Florida to run for this seat. And over the past 8 to 10 years, it's not really been a legit challenge to his reign here, so to speak. So it is my job as someone who did grow up here in this district and who is from Florida, born and raised here. This is my home. These are my people, and being out here on the ground, talking with people, and getting their feedback and seeing the excitement of having someone who is quote unquote their own, is homegrown, having someone who's actually homegrown to represent the needs and wants of everyone here in Florida 21 is an exciting time, and getting people to rally behind me and we're doing it, man. So my only thing is, again, you're talking about someone who really, he's the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, by the way. He's a disabled veteran, and he's kind of been riding that for the past 10 years. And it's enough is enough. It's time for change here.
Right on. Okay. I like that. And then also, it's not a follow up. I mean, I guess it kind of is. And it's a matter that matters to me because it's my career as well as to millions of Americans that utilize the service. The federal Lifeline program is steadily being ripped away from millions of households. They're making the qualifications harder. They're making the enrollment harder. Have you done any research into that, and what would you do differently or push to be done differently in your role?
So please enlighten me on the Federal Lifeline program.
Okay, so the Federal Lifeline program is a program that's been around since, I believe, since Reagan. I believe it was a Reagan era program. And it's a federal subsidy that provides it was originally telecom service. Now it's more into digital service, like internet and things of that nature. It provides a subsidy so that low-income households can, be connected.
Right.
It was expanded on by the the Emergency Broadband Program and then the Affordable Connectivity Program during COVID.
Okay.
Both of which have expired now, and it's left a major digital gap between those that are connected and those that aren't.
So is it basically a program that it has? So for what you're describing, it sounds like a program that has expanded internet access to certain areas. Am I correct?
Exactly. Low-income households.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing with how that at one point in time when they were giving out cell phones to people that you can apply for and have a certain
Yeah.
Well, again, obviously from my perspective, we want to make sure that we are any type of program that's there to help subsidize low-income families. I come from a low-income family. I use these same programs growing up, whether that be a program like that to expand internet connectivity, or whether it be the supplemental nutritional program, or whether it be Medicaid. Like all these programs were essential in my life growing up to help me get to where I am, to help me get from that poverty line to middle class. And it would be hypocritical, and I would consider it a disservice to my younger self if I didn't also support those and support the programs that help me to get to where I am, to make sure that those programs are not only the same but strengthened further, to make sure more people are afforded the opportunity to use these programs as a springboard to get into a higher class in life. So I'm always for anything that can help others in the community, and again, that ties into making things affordable. Anything that you can do to kind of take some costs away from people, whether that's expanded internet access, whether that's providing food, all these different things to help make life more affordable for people, I'm all for.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm not your constituent, but these are issues that are nationwide, not just in the state of Florida. One last thing, and I'm going to hop down. I am from the state of Arkansas. So when you are elected to the U.S. Senate, I would like you to do me one favor, and that is I want you to find Tom Cotton and just give him the biggest movie ever. Let me tell you, I've been a Democrat most of my life, and I actually helped campaign for Tom Cotton when he was first running. He ran on a lot of great things, but he's lost his way in Washington, and I hate it. He was a great guy when he first ran, but now he is just the epitome of what's wrong with the American political ecosystem. And I hope that you and people like you are able to get in there and change it and bring us back to what we need to be.
So my question to you, didn't y'all have like a legit rocket scientist trying to run against him at one point?
I'm sorry, I'm sitting at McDonald's and this kid popped up and knocked on my window. You said
No, I think like at one point
a rocket scientist. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with that.
Whoever was running, I think maybe it was not. Oh, it might have been running for governor. I don't know. It was somebody running in you guys' state that was a legit rocket scientist, And I was like, oh, they got to win. They're rocket science. And it didn't happen. So I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it's Arkansas. It's Arkansas. You never know. One day they might put a farmer in there. The next they might put I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely appreciate your support, man. And, you know, I need you to also talk to them farmers out there, man. Hopefully they seeing the light. Because I saw the news report with them in their prayer circle. And, you know, I don't judge anybody. I'm a man of faith myself, but we all know that prayer circle is not what's going to help. We all know the cause of what's going on.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping that they're waking up to it.
And I tell you, I know several people in the state of Florida. I don't know if I know anybody in your district. Remind me where your district is.
So this district is over on the East Coast, North Palm Beach County, all the way up to St. Lucie County. So
okay, so would Orlando encompass that, or is that West Coast?
No, Orlando's about 2 hours north of me in Central Florida.
Okay,
that's Maxwell Frost's area.
I'm not familiar with Florida at all. So, but if I know anybody in your district, I will definitely put your name out there for them.
Oh, and do me a favor. If you see Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you trip her as she's walking for making them kids stand up.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. If I could, I would, but I do not want to go to prison. And she is all about putting people in prison.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy, man. Appreciate you, Chris.
All right, bye.
She's not winning any popularity contests, I'll tell you that much. Thank you so much, Chris, for popping up.
Can somebody, how do I drop?
I got you. Don't worry about it. I got
Thank
you. Thank you. Hey, Missy, thank you so much for coming up.
Hello. How's everyone?
Hello, how's my favorite Central Floridian?
I mean, you know, I had to jump up here and ask Bernard a question.
Yes.
Even though I obviously pick his brain all the time, and I just am absolutely just love so much that I wish you were representing my area, but even though you're not, I'm still Team Bernard no matter what. So wanted to talk to you a little bit about particularly in Florida. So we know with the bill that passed, we know the cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, all of those things are going to happen. So when you get in and, you know, we're able to try and hopefully the pendulum swings, what is it that can be done? Because I wanted to let you know this. I'm not sure how much is going through the pipeline, but as you guys know, I have two disabled kids who use Medicaid. And we have, for the past, I would say, month, our center has been telling us that they've been receiving these very odd, you know, we need a little bit more information on her, on my daughter. She's 5 with autism. We need this, we need that. Now, if you know with Medicaid, you obviously go through a whole process at the beginning of it, and then every year you have to redo it. You renew it, that's how it goes. And right now there seems to be, obviously, as things are going through, pushback. What we're finding out is not only my daughter, but most of the kids at the center, and my daughter is full functioning autism. So she is verbal, she can use the toilet, all of those things, but there are a lot of kids at the center that can't, and they are fully being denied Medicaid. So I just want to make sure people who are listening understand the pushback that these autism centers are getting is that Medicaid is saying, even if you are nonverbal, cannot toilet by yourself, you do not qualify for the benefits. The line is so small of what would qualify, because as you know, with a child with autism who's nonverbal, we're already dealing with a multitude of things that come from that. So my question to you is, if you get in there, what can you do to help bring back some of that, hopefully, in some initiative somehow to help kids who need that Medicaid to, you know, receive their therapies?
Right. So the beautiful thing about Congress is every year you have to do a budget bill. Even though that big, you know, quote unquote beautiful bill passed and the cuts have went through, you still have to create a budget every year. So depending on who controls the House, it basically how money is allocated. So whatever funds you do have to allocate, you choose what to do with those funds. So that's why it's important to make sure that we flip the House and flip the Senate next year, because again, those are the bodies that control the purse strings. And you really want to make sure you can flip it to where you have a veto-proof majority. So you can go in and dissect this bill and kind of see where you can add some money here and there, or change some things, or overturn some things. But right now, again, without us having much power, there's really nothing we can do. And this is the thing that you and I and others, Missy, have been warning about when it came to these cuts, when it came to passing that legislation. We knew it was going to affect our children. You know, you're a parent of autism. I'm a parent of a child with autism. And these were the types of things that we were worried about. They're not going to want to spend the money on our children. That's just, they kept telling y'all, you know, they were cutting undocumented people. That's why all these cuts were happening. We all knew what it was, man. They were coming after our family, our children's low income families, people that really needed these things. And it is truly, truly, truly unfortunate. But again, when you have the people in place to control the purse strings and can allocate the funds, that is why it is so important to make sure that we flip the house next year. And that's why it's so important that we get people in office like myself who can relate to the stories that for families like myself and Missy, who know the importance of those centers for our children and the necessary needs of our children when it comes to these things, man. Because again, I was talking with someone earlier on the live, and it was just like understanding that I know what my son went through, all the different schools and daycares that he bounced around from. Just you have to find the right fit. You have to find someone who's going to care for your child the way you care for your child, who's going to be patient enough to figure out how does your child learn. What are their tics? Like, what's the best way to teach your child? What's the best way to make sure that they're focused? Like all those different things, it is truly, truly hard to find the right fit. I was just fortunate enough. My son is about to be 7 in October, and over the last year, we just found a place that is absolutely perfect for him, that he's been thriving. And
I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that.
Such an improvement in his whole overall behavior and education level ever since we found this place. But again, how many different programs in different schools and private schools and all these different things to find that. So being able to relate to those stories and understanding how these things are important is why you need people like myself and people that can relate to the plight of the everyday American. Right now we have people in office that just can't relate to these stories. So
that's so true. And I think that's why, you know, with grassroots candidates, I feel like the gravitation of just that almost like empathy or sympathy feeling that you can understand. And so it makes it more passionate. It makes you more driven. You know, I feel that a little bit with Maxwell Frost when he speaks about his constituents, and when he talks, you know, he really is like, hey, like, you know, I was working and I you know, doing all the things that everybody else has been through. I'm not been just given all this stuff, you know, working to get to that point. And I think, you know, we need to remember that having people be relatable with you is a good thing. It means they're going to put your needs and your wants ahead. And I think we need to remember that when we go in, and we need this blue tsunami out of, like, it just needs to be out of control, a whole sweep in order for this pendulum to swing. Because when I tell you my heart dropped today, when I had that meeting with our ABA center, and like you said, my son was bounced around to different public schools because I didn't know he was being mistreated with his autism. And that also goes to the school district because they don't understand how to handle their ESE children, and their program is where there's a lot of issues already that need to be fixed. But if there isn't funding for like ABA centers where my child goes, and you know, they're amazing. They're helping my kids. My son wasn't doing any work. He was being locked in a room with no windows for hours. We had no idea because he just couldn't learn at the rate that they were doing it, which was just, he just wasn't interested for whatever reason. He had other medical things going on. But anyways, he just wasn't thriving. And now both my son and daughter are thriving at the ABA Center. They're learning at a level I can't believe. And I'm so scared we're going to lose that. And if we lose that, what does that look like? You know what I mean? So it's important that people do understand that these cuts are happening now. They're not, the Medicaid is just preparing to just tell people no and tell people no. And so that should give people even more, you know, put more fire under us, I guess, to say we need these people out who don't care about kids with autism or families that need Medicaid, you know? So thank you so much, Bernard, and thank you, Jasper, for having me up. You can go ahead and shut me down.
Thank you, Missy, and thank you everybody for the gifts. It's really awesome of you guys. You are totally ruling tonight. Please also remember to, donate to our candidate as well. He needs flowers and accolades and stuff.
Get it all.
I know what running up all those stairs. I see you.
I wanna ask Bernard, since Missy already took.
Oh, hang on, Bacon. We turned off your mic. Hang on. Let's get it back on. There we go. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
My question. What else could you allocate or programs that you can help with disability? Like for myself, we need equality in workplaces. Right now, I'm struggling for 1 day per week on my end of I don't want any other disabled community to feel what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like I'm worthless.
So again, everybody just demonized that word, that phrase DEI over the past, however many election cycles, not understanding that what DEI did it wasn't really the focus on people that look like me, but it was the focus on the disabled. It was focusing on other people to make sure that there were fair labor practices happening, that you wasn't discriminated because you might be disabled or you might be a woman or you might be a minority. All these different underprivileged groups were oversought, and there were people enforcing these laws to make sure that everyone had an equal and fair shot. And what's happening right now is we don't have that oversight to make sure that all of us are able to have a fair shot in these workplaces. We don't have oversight into making sure that someone like Crispy is getting more than 1 day of work a week. We have already seen, and to go back to Missy's question as well, again, if you're not familiar with Florida, there have been stories and reports that there are parents who are being called asking if they want to put their disabled children in these quote unquote special venues and programs, like just out of
voluntary.
Voluntary. That's what's been happening in Florida right now. So you can see, like, they're not trying to help people like Crispy or people like my son or Missy's son and all these other people who might be differently abled or learn differently or have learning disabilities. They just want to put them somewhere where they don't have to do anything for them and just see what happens. And it's important, again, to make sure we have people that actually empathize and sympathize with these folks and are going to do the things that need to be put in place, whether that's fair labor practices to make sure that there is no discrimination against you, Crispy, that you can have more than 1 day a week at work. I mean, they always saying, like, nobody wants to work, but then you have someone like Crispy who is a disabled person that actually wants to get out here and make a living for himself, but then you're not letting him make a living. So it's very important that, again, we have the right leaders in place to make sure that there is oversight and there is consequences, but for not following these fair labor practices that we're supposed to be having.
And thank you for that. And I wanna commend you for answering that. And like I said, for now, I feel like I'm worthless. I only work 1 day a week, and for my company, I've been honored as a choice employee of the month for two years. I've been working at the same company for 17 years, and right now I feel like I'm worthless.
Well, brother, trust me, you're not worthless, man. And
not even for a second.
I see you, and there are many others that see you as well, man. So don't feel worthless. I need you to keep your head up, make sure you stay in this fight, man. We're going to be, again, we're doing this with people like yourself and all the other everyday average Americans and underprivileged Americans right here. It's time for us to get power back and stop letting people that don't care nothing about us make decisions over our lives.
All right, thank you, Jess, and Oslo, thank you.
Thank you, Bacon.
Well, I know lots of people love you on this app, so you just, let me know if you ever need something, bud.
Absolutely, 100%.
Definitely. Hey,
What's
Oslo.
happening, Brendan? What's going on?
What's going on, Oslo? How's my favorite Elmo disciple doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know that my legal team requires me to say that I have no connection whatsoever to Elmo or Sesame Street or the Muppets or any of their affiliated characters. I don't want to get sued,
Hey, I'm speaking on behalf of myself. Oslo has nothing to do with this. Ain't no libel, no slander no defamation on Oslo's behalf. This is coming from myself. Oslo's completely innocent. Let that be on the record.
All right.
Elmo might be looking for a job right now. I don't know what.
Yeah, they did kind of take Elmo money away, but I heard Netflix giving out money, so you may see.
Yeah, they're defunding PBS. They're making us monsters sling for galaxies on TikTok.
I'm crying right now. Hey, I respect you for keeping your hustle on though, Elmo. I respect.
Gotta do it. Gotta get the grind.
Oh my God, I love you, man. I love you so much. Appreciate you for always coming up and showing support and showing love. We very much appreciate it.
I saw you sent me. So you sent me a video in messages. Can you email that to me? If that's the one you want me to use, can you email that to me?
Absolutely. Send me your email address. I'll send it over to you.
All right.
Yeah,
I
worked very hard for that video. I wanted that to be right. I wanted you to do that one. I worked very hard. It took me all day for those 30 seconds.
It's a good looking video. Like it's well produced and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And somebody actually, again, this is what I mean when you're talking about grassroots candidates. For something like that, usually you talking about maybe $10,000 or $12,000. Someone who loves my message and supports me and wanted to do something for my campaign. They couldn't give me money, but they could do that. That was their gift. So they was able to donate that commercial and that time to my campaign. So when we saying that there's always things you can do, even if you're not able to do anything monetarily, whatever your talent is, whatever you're good at, whatever you're special at, you can donate to the campaign. If you're good with data research, I'm always looking for, different data and analysis and for different things that I needed for different videos. If that's your calling, if that's your gift, you can donate that skill to the campaign. There's different ways to help grassroots candidates that doesn't always include money. Because some of the things that we spend money on, maybe that's your gift. I have a website. Maybe you're a good website designer. That usually costs money. That's fundraised to pay somebody to design your website and keep that up and running. Well, if that's your gift and you support what I'm doing, you can donate your website design skills to my campaign. So anytime you're thinking about working with somebody, even if you're out of state or you're not in that person's district, think about the skills that you have. Think about what you can offer to a campaign. That is considered a campaign donation. I'm telling you, all that stuff is much appreciated because remember, now I don't have to spend $12,000 for an official campaign commercial. I don't have to worry about raising that money. Or if you're a website designer, now I don't have to worry about paying somebody to design the website. So the money that I don't raise because I'm not, taking super PACs and foreign lobby money, I don't need the money that most people would need because they are paying people to do that. And I'm getting that just on the strength of who I am. So very much appreciate that.
Awesome.
And that's my wisdom that I'm always sharing people is we're hanging out on these TikTok spaces and we're doing TikTok debates, right? And so many people are debating with MAGA or, Republican conservatives and they're talking and they have a good solid understanding of facts and statistics and things like that. And I tell you, if you just took a little bit of that time, and instead of being on TikTok talking to MAGA, you went and volunteered for Brendan's phone banking, calling undecided voters. I'll tell you what, going from debating MAGA on TikTok to talking on the phone to undecided voters is like swimming with weights on and then taking those weights off and swimming with flippers.
Absolutely.
Because when you finally talk to somebody who's undecided and willing to listen, and you've been talking to MAGA who is decided and unwilling to listen, I'll tell you what, it is like a breeze and you'll have a good time doing it. I phone banked, or well, my human phone banked for Kamala Harris for months before the election, and it was like, wow, compared to TikTok, this is a breeze. So that's one of the things I tell people is, hey, look, we're on TikTok. Take 1 hour of that TikTok time and do some phone banking for candidates like Brendan who could really use the volunteer time.
Absolutely. And again, if you're going to phone bank with me also, I need you to FaceTime because they got to see you. They got to see what you got going on. So you got to be FaceTiming
Let's
on
do
your
it.
It's very smooth today. He's looking mighty smooth
absolutely.
today.
You're looking real
Awesome.
dapper.
Thank you
You're
very
looking real
much. I
good.
shampooed this morning.
see
Garnier
it.
Fructis.
Dapper.
I'm looking for a sponsorship.
It's glistening. Lorraine is like real glistening today. I like it.
Love. You need to get like one of those little desk fans so that you could get the wind, you know, go in. Have yourself a little Beyonce moment. I'm loving it. Let's do
Nice.
it.
You're making me blush. You're making me a little heated with all this.
It was it's funny that you bring that up when you talk about, you know, these people sit on these apps and they, you know, they're debating MAGA, and I hear people, you know, a question I get is all the time, it's like, Bernard, you know, why don't you engage? Why don't you do that type of stuff? Why don't you engage in the entertainment? And truth be told, like, I don't got time for the entertainment. Like, not even respect, but I see, you know, I know what this is. You know, people got to make money the way they make money, and rage and entertainment sells. So I don't discourage and I don't disparage anybody who does get on here and goes back and forth with, like you said, people whose minds just aren't going to change. You know, I get it. It's a way to generate revenue, and by all means, you know, everybody got to get out here and live. But my thing is, you know, especially after the events of this week, it's time to close those. It's time to close those platforms. You know, we got to stop platforming the rage bait and the unnecessary rhetoric and the back and forth, because again, they're not productive. You would be more productive, like I was also saying, phone banking for someone, being on here, you know, going back and forth with someone who you know is not going to change their mind, for clicks and likes and shares and things of that nature. It's personally, to me, I believe that it's time for that. It's time to end all that. We've been doing that for God knows how long,
Forever.
going back and forth. And you know, I get it. I know a lot of people. Some of the justification is, you know, well, it's not more so for them. It's more so for the people in the audience to learn all that stuff. Like, look here, man. These people in the audience know, like, if they want to have genuine conversations, they can stick around and they will listen to have a genuine conversation. You don't have to get on here and platform these disruptors and these people that just want to be argumentative. You don't have to platform them to make sure you're reaching an audience to give them the right information. The people who want the information, they will stick around and listen. The people who don't, you wasn't going to get them anyway. So if we're going to stop the rhetoric and stop the things that are happening, we got to start deplatforming all of this rage bait, all this different rhetoric. Don't give it no oxygen, you know, because the more oxygen you give it, you know, I'm a firefighter. Fires thrive on three things: temperature, and oxygen, and fuel. You know, the things around it that can burn. So you take away one of those three from the fire triangle, you don't have no fire. Take the oxygen out of the room. Don't give it no oxygen, you won't have no fire. You won't have situations like what we've had this week. So that is my challenge to you all. Again, if you're scrolling and you see those different types of platforms, just scroll past it. Don't jump into it. Don't see what you're talking about. Just scroll past it, man. The beautiful thing about something, if people realize that you can't make no money from it, they stop it. So that's my little PSA, my soapbox talk for the day.
And the other thing, too, that I want to add on to that is that you got to protect your peace, right? Going into those lives, you may feel like you're doing something. You may feel like you could get through. You may feel like you can change a mind, change a heart, give them a point of view that they've never heard before. But in the end, you always leave feeling like crap. So protect your peace, and just it's toxic is what it is. So, just protect your peace, especially right now. We're in a crazy time. Protect your peace, and like Bernard said, keep on scrolling. So
Absolutely. Find somebody, find a video of Oswald doing her puppet thing. You'll feel much better.
definitely.
Well, that's kind of why I go into those spaces sometimes, because I tend to lighten things up a little bit sometimes. So.
Okay, we all appreciate it 100%. I was telling them about you this morning. I was on the Lenny Soul Morning Show. It's a pretty popular live one here, and I was telling them, yeah, you guys got to have my friend Oslo up here one of these days. She'll get the crowd going for real, 100%. I'm supposed to be going back on there on Monday. They're usually live between 9 a.m. to 12 Eastern. So Oslo, if you ain't doing anything, kind of pop through, see if I'm up there, and I'll get them to have you come up, man. Because again, they usually have about 1,000 to 2,000 people in there, and it's just a good time. And I got to answer a lot of questions this morning and touch a lot of people, and I was able to raise some money as well. So
That's wonderful.
Good.
and just that invitation goes to you as well. Anytime I'm in those lives, if you see I'm in those spaces with audience that big, please come say hello, and I can try to get you guys up so your platforms can expand as well. You guys,
So that we can glaze him and.
Absolutely. I'm all for that.
you guys.
Does he need our help though?
Yeah, you guys helped me out tremendously, and I want to make sure I'm helping you out as well.
Thank you, sir. Well, everybody, it's like, time almost. It's time for, us to switch things up a little bit. I'm scrolling on my screen as I'm talking. This is called stretching in the show biz world, stretching.
Well, I've prepared a little bit of wisdom. I don't know. Normally you have me come in at around 4:20, but do you want me to wait a little minute?
We're gonna have an amazing content creator, Oslo, come up. But
so we can sling galaxies.
We're gonna be slinging galaxies all night long here. I'm gonna bring up a different content creator tonight. This is part of. She feels like she's been doing this forever and ever and ever. She comes up to talk about the importance of, getting involved. And Chelsea in Texas is going to give us a little bit of insight on what that looks like. So to give it away to you, Chelsea, don't leave yet, Bernard. I still need you. So for now, here's Chelsea.
Hi, y'all. Full disclosure, if you hear kids and a man in the background, they're all playing outside and they're loud. My name is Chelsea. I am a county chair in Texas, and my job is to, 1, recruit candidates, 2, get people involved so that they can, 3, start knocking on doors and talking to people. Getting involved, especially now, is very, very important, especially in Texas, across the United States, of course, but we have some huge elections coming up in Texas in 2026. Greg Abbott is running for the 4th time. Ken Paxton is going to be primarying John Cornyn, so we do have a big Senate race coming up. It's a great time for us to get to work. And I think that people are going to be more receptive. I know it's kind of hard to see that right now, but when it comes down to election time and they're feeling things in their pocketbooks, people are going to be more receptive to hearing us. What we really need is people. We need them badly. My county party that I work with, the average age is 75. I work with a lot of elderly people. We need young people. The elderly people are ready to pass the torch. Across Texas, we need precinct chairs. Precinct chairs are the boots on the ground, literally. Those are the people that organize their own neighborhoods and go and knock doors and canvass for candidates. Also, reach out to candidates and see what they need. Because I know there are a lot of candidates across the state, across the country, that would love for someone to start knocking doors for them and passing out literature for them and doing phone banks for them. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. They're so loud. But
It's like you're a mom or something. What?
it's a good time too. You get to be around a lot of like-minded people, and especially in areas like mine that are super red, it's nice to have that camaraderie. So please consider getting involved with your county party, or if you're not comfortable with that, go get involved with a campaign. We need it. That's all I got for you today.
Question. Don't
Yeah.
leave. Y'all don't have term limits in
I
Texas?
can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear him. Can you hear him okay, Chelsea?
I still can't hear.
Well,
microphone
that's
on?
really
I can't hear
strange.
any of you guys. What's up? with
Uh-oh.
this? Is it me? Oh,
I think it's
hang
you.
on.
Maybe the earbuds picked up or something.
Hold on.
Like you know, when you
Can you
open
hear
your
me
phone and then
now?
the earbud picks on in a room 5 miles away.
Hello.
We
So sorry, y'all.
No words.
It's okay. Can you hear us okay now?
Yes, it was an external problem. The kids were trying to connect.
Hey,
to...
that Bluetooth, man.
I am so sorry. You
Question.
had a question.
Yes, y'all don't. First question. You don't have term limits for your governor?
No, we don't.
Nope.
Wow, that's something.
Which is
fun.
something that someone should run on. We need
Right.
term limits for the governor.
It would be
That's one
fabulous.
thing Florida did right, I guess. We ain't got to have worry about Ron DeSantis coming back no time soon. Well, the thing is, though, here in Florida, I think they have to take a break after 2 years. So technically, in 6 years, he could run again. It's just every 2 years they have to take a break. They can't run back to back. So, second question. Good. Okay, so second question. Being that you guys are in Texas, I'm wondering this because again, I'm a Floridian and I'm on the outside looking in. I'm not one of those people that assume I know what's going on in the state like some people do me. You
I
have
feel attacked.
you been in these lives with me and people trying to tell me what's happening in Florida, and I've been in here for 36 years and people are trying to tell me about Florida. So
that happens a lot in Texas.
yeah. James Talrico or Colin Allred?
Okay, here's the thing. I cannot answer that.
She's a county chair.
As a county chair,
She's a county
I'm
chair.
I would love to tell. Do not get me wrong. I would love to tell you. I do not want to keep my mouth shut, but I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to endorse anyone or favor anyone before the primary.
I'm not asking you for an endorsement. I'm saying, how do you feel about these people in the race? Do you feel like you have great candidates in the race?
I feel like we have great candidates in the race. And I think either one of them is going to do way better than Ken Paxton or John Cornyn. And I will take either one. I will take a potted plant. I will take a succulent over either one of those guys. A road cone, like anything.
On the plus, yeah. On the plus side, we're not going to have Ken Paxton as the Attorney General anymore, no matter what.
That's great.
Because he is running for Senate, he can no longer be the run for Attorney General. But Chip Roy is running for that seat. So.
Oh God. Okay. I hope you guys find somebody better than Chip Roy. I won't get you in no trouble. I'm pretty good at reading eyes, so I think I probably can figure which way you're leaning with that. I'm gonna leave you alone.
Okay. I would love to tell you. Do not get me wrong, because I do have favorites, but I'm not allowed to say.
Yes. My whole thing is that I hear from the outside looking in that a problem with the person that tried to run before is he kind of left some communities, took them for granted, and he probably would have won had he not taken those communities for granted.
Yeah.
And
I can say for a fact that there was a candidate that ran before that did not reach out to anyone near me at all. And my county has over 100,000 people in it. So we shouldn't have been left out.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
Yep. I will say that Ted Cruz is universally disliked.
That's why
And how in the world he got elected again is just absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Before people started announcing for Senate, I definitely had some words about that race. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Oslo.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. And thank you so much, Oslo. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to our little activist alley tonight, Oslo? You're muted, sweetie. Hang on just a second. I'm going to expand
I had to make sure that
you.
wasn't my kids trying to connect to the Bluetooth again.
Got it. We still can't hear you, Oslo. No, your
it's
mouth's
good.
moving, but there's no sound coming out.
Gotcha.
Ah!
I knew it.
I'm like, he's messing
I
with
can't
us.
mess with you.
I'm messing with you.
Oh,
But
Lord.
it's not necessarily activist alley more of it's like little wisdom from a puppet
I love the wisdom from a puppet.
window.
Yes.
Wisdom window inside activism alley.
I love it.
Oh, love that.
So
Yes.
I like the term grassroots because grassroots come down into the soil and they mix together, and that's how they keep they like the roots from one grass plant mixes and tangles up with the roots from another grass plant, and they create this root system that is all connected together, and that's where the term comes from. I like that a lot. But I also while we're in the garden, I would like us to think about hosta, Hosta, I think it is.
Hostas.
Hosta plants.
Hostas, yeah.
Hostas plants, yeah. They're kind of like a little waxy, really easy to grow. They have a very fibrous root system. And the reason I want to add them to our grassroots garden is because their fibrous root systems go into the soil, and they're very strong and very dense and very thick, and they help with erosion. And right now I feel like we are losing the left is losing people because it feels like our candidates aren't doing what they need to do, and these grassroots candidates like Brendan are going to plant those hostas roots down into our grassroots, and they're going to I think these grassroots candidates are going to stop the erosion that we're seeing on the left that we need to see. We need to try a new approach, and that's why I love people like Brendan. Okay, so that's my little wisdom is what we're talking grassroots. Add some fibrous hostas plants in there too.
I'm all for it.
Absolutely. And
Plus, they come in blue.
Ooh.
hey, can't go wrong with that.
Hey.
Can't go wrong with that. Absolutely.
Blue
Again,
tsunami.
you guys understand us candidates that are running.
Oh my God! Did I say Brandon? I'm such a doofus. I meant Bernard. I'm sorry.
I thought you were joking this whole time.
Yeah, I know what you meant. It's all good. I'll still love
You have to understand, my human is like way back here,
Yep.
and then he's looking at. He doesn't have his glasses on.
It's totally fine.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, it says. Oh yeah, that's right, Bernard. Okay.
I can't, man. I can't.
Oh
I
my
can't.
goodness.
But again, to Oslo's point, man, we have so many different people around the country who are running grassroots campaign, and it is important to get visibility. That we're not going to get visibility from the regular machines at hand right now. They're, no matter what you believe in, no matter which party, which side, there's a power structure. And with these power structures, they are very much opposed to letting people come in willy-nilly. Like you just can't walk in and say, hey, I'm here, love me. That's not how this works. You're going to do this at a grassroots level. You have to build those strong foundations and strong roots, and then be willing to kick the door in and say, hey, I'm here. This is what I bring with me, and bring all the supporters you have with me. You bring the community and the constituents with me and say, hey, the people want me. I don't care what you want. So if you can either get behind me as a party, or I'm going to run through you and run over you. And the perfect example is what you're seeing in New York City. That guy didn't have permission to run in that mayoral race. He started last year at 1%, and now he's more than likely going to be the mayor next year. And that took again putting those roots in the ground, getting to support, building those connector roots, and connecting with all those people and growing all together to be able to say, hey, we are here we don't care what you guys want. It's time to upset the power structure, and we're kicking the door down. So wherever you are, whoever you are, if you're watching and you're considering running, or you are running, you are a grassroots candidate, please do not get discouraged. I know I'm right where you have been, guys. I've been in these Democratic club meetings. I've heard the whispers from people, what they say behind your back. I've seen people, not myself, but other people that get into the primaries, and they get really, really evil emails from people within the party itself saying, you don't need to run. Like, stop running. Like, we have someone that wants to run. And we, quote unquote, live in a democratic society. But again, I'm not talking about even my opponent on the other side in the general. I'm talking about just in a primary to win in your own party. There are power structures in the party that don't want to see you succeed.
Established versus grassroots.
Exactly. So if you want to do this, and if this is something that you truly believe in, you have to know that you're going to go in there with no support, with no backing, and have to really, really, really do that work as a grassroots candidate and build yourself up to someone who can kick the door in and make them have to get behind you. You see, even right now, the speaker and the Senate minority leader, they're still haven't endorsed that man, but they're going to have no choice, because if they let him get elected without endorsing him, there's no way that that's going to fly next year in the midterms for them to continue to be leaders. Because if you look at the quote unquote tweets from the House minority leader, it's supposed to be vote blue no matter who. So you can't have a phrase like that, and then when it comes time to, hey, this is our candidate, and you don't get behind him, you don't have any teeth when it comes to like, hey, you guys should follow me now. It's like, no, you let us down. We had someone that we wanted, and you didn't stand against him, but you didn't help him either. So again, it is important to make sure that you build these platforms, you build these followings, you get this support to where it is so overwhelming that they have no choice but to accept you. And that is the only way you're going to win in a grassroots campaign. I cannot tell you how many people call me and are talking with me and send me messages about how I can't believe the party said this to me, or this is what I'm hearing behind my back, and I want to drop out because this is too much, and all this stuff. And I'm talking about from their own side. We're not even getting to the opposition side yet. So if you're getting that kind of vitriol from your own side, imagine what it's going to be if you were to win the primary, and now it's time to get the other side coming at you. So this is truly a grind. You have to have thick skin, you have to be tough, and you have to be ready for everything that's about to be thrown at you. And I know a lot of us get angry and we want to do something. It's like, I'm going to run. Again, you're not willing to make that sacrifice and willing to put up with what you're going to have to put up with and do the hot, blood, sweaty, all that work. Do not do it. Find another way to get involved. You can do things like what Chelsea's doing. You can be a community activist. You can go be a precinct leader. You can go be a poll watcher. You can be a community organizer. Like, these are different things to get involved with. You don't necessarily have to run for office, because again, this is not for the faint of heart.
And I want to add on to what you're saying too. Yeah, it's not for everybody. But I will say, if you are getting that pushback within the party, that means you're doing something right. Just in my opinion.
Absolutely, 100%.
If you're getting the pushback from like the establishment or whatever, to me that means you are doing something right. And as a candidate, if you want to become a candidate, talk to everyone. Do not be scared to talk to everyone. I just want to have a personal little anecdote about this, and then I'm done. I have to go. But we were having a city council election in my city, and I'm an early voter. First day of early voting, I'm there. But it was the day before actual election day, and the man running for city council came and knocked on my door because he wanted my vote. Should he have done it before? Yes, because you don't know who early votes and who doesn't. And I hadn't voted for him, and I told him so, because I have no problem telling him that. But I said, I wish you would have come and knocked on my door before, because it makes all the difference to me that you actually did. Being able to talk to someone face to face about what they want for your community or your country, whatever, makes all the difference to people. But thank you so much for having me on. this is getting better and better every week. So
I love
it's
it.
nice to talk to you, Bernard. Thank you. Oslo, thank you for being here. But I will talk to you later.
Thank you, Chelsea. Okay, guys, we are getting close to time. So before we go, Bernard, if you would not mind telling the good folks where they can find you, what you're doing next, and how they can help your campaign.
Absolutely, guys. So again, my name is Bernard Taylor. I am running for Congress here in Florida Congressional District 21. If you want more information about my campaign, please feel free to go to bernardtaylorforcongress.org. The link is in my bio. You can sign up to volunteer. You can read some of the policy proposals that I have. You can also donate to the campaign. Remember, put down the coffee for the weekend. Take that little bit of money because you can't really go far with it anywhere else. And consider donating it to the campaign. Every dollar helps. And I'll tell you guys, if all 140,000 people that follow me on this app, if everybody gave $1, we'd be in business. So not asking for the world and asking for you to do what you can. Always, again, like, share, follow, and reshare all the content. Again, visibility is so important, especially this early on before 2026. It's middle of September. As much visibility as we can gain and move into January with is extremely important. So if nothing else, make sure you're following me and sharing all the content so we can get this stuff out to as many people as possible. Thank you all very much for the time. Jess, Oslo, you guys are the best. Much, much love. Again, anything I can do for you guys, please don't ever hesitate to ask. And when I do win and y'all still hosting these platforms, don't be afraid to invite me on. I ain't going to be too big to still come and hang out with a puppet and Jess.
I love it. I love it. You always have a place here on our show if you want one. So thank you so much for coming by. And this is just a reminder to everybody that's in here. We are absolutely done with big money in politics. It has ruined our country. We are no longer interested in politics that is only serving the corporations. And we need candidates just like Bernard here who are not funded by AIPAC and other special interests. We want them to be able to serve the people, but that money has to come from somewhere. So whether it's your wallet or your time, make sure that you are doing everything in your power to help these grassroots candidates, even if it's just following and sharing their content to get more eyes on them. And that stuff is free, folks. So the time for change is now, and we all have to work together. Wouldn't you agree, Bernard?
Absolutely, 100%. Be the change that you want to see. Stop yelling at the sky and get out here and be the change you want to see.
That's right. That's right. This has been so awesome. What a great show tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I would be absolutely remiss if I did not send a special thank you to the amazing content creators who are here tonight to support us, our incredible mods, and our amazing design genie, Kayla. So send them all some love in the chat, guys, along with our candidate, please. Make sure that you are registered to vote. And keep an eye on the election schedules in your area because they're doing some hanky stuff out there, and you got to make sure that you're paying attention. Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all made me a sticker? I'm just not seeing that. That is
I made
awesome.
you a sticker.
That is awesome. Oh,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I'm going to
so
send it to
awesome.
you so you can put it in your
Please.
lives too.
Absolutely. I walk me through it because, you know, I may be young, but I'm an old man at heart. I'm still figuring all this stuff out. So.
If I can figure it out, Sonny, I'm sure we can do it together.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Thank you guys.
Of course. So just make sure that you guys are registered to vote. You could go check it out by going to vote.gov. Okay? This was incredibly inspiring. I know we have a lot of folks who are scared right now, but I want to remind everyone that the fear is the point. Fear leads to panic. Panic leads to inaction. But hope and community are the antidote for all of it. So tune in on Monday when we have an amazing candidate who is running for the Senate in New Hampshire. And, make sure that you send Bernard a follow. Okay, guys?
Bye.
All right.
Here's my 10 walls.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And just a reminder, just another quick reminder before we say goodnight. Make sure to follow us on Substack, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the tube of you. And follow the peoplesickday.com to throw a wrench in this bish.